If you are over the age of 60, there is a very high probability that you have been told a partial truth your entire life. You have been told that to stay healthy, you just need to keep moving. You have been told that walking is the gold standard for aging gracefully. So you wake up every day, you put on your shoes, and you walk. I have viewers in our community, specifically an 82-year-old gentleman from Australia, who walks 4 or 5 kilometers every single day. That is an hour of dedication every single morning. And yet, despite that incredible effort, he cannot stand on one foot. He struggles with balance. He feels unsteady when he is not in motion. This is the heartbreaking frustration that so many seniors face. You are doing the work. You are putting in the miles. You are exhausted at the end of the day. So why does your balance still feel shaky? Why do you still fear falling? I am here to tell you that it is not your fault and you are not failing. The problem is that walking is simply the wrong tool for the specific job of preventing falls. We need to understand the mechanics of walking to understand why it isn't enough. When you walk, you are engaging in a rhythmic, low-impact activity. It is fantastic for your heart, your lungs, and for clearing your mind. But walking utilizes what we call slow-twitch muscle fibers. These are endurance fibers. They are designed to keep you going for a long time at a steady pace. However, a fall happens in a split second. When you trip over a rug or slip in the shower or lose your footing on an uneven sidewalk, you do not need endurance. You need power. You need fast-twitch muscle fibers to fire instantly and catch you before you hit the ground. Walking does not train these fast-twitch fibers. You can walk 10 kilometers a day and still have critically weak fast-twitch response. This is why you can have great stamina but terrible balance. If you want to stay out of the nursing home, and if you want to eliminate that nagging fear of falling, you need to stop focusing solely on endurance and start focusing on power. The solution I am going to give you today is not a complex gym routine. I know many of you, including our diabetic and thyroid patients watching, do not want to go to a gym. You do not want to use complex machines. You need something you can do in your living room, in your pajamas, that takes less than 5 minutes. The solution is the sit-to-stand exercise, or what we call the chair squat. I'm going to walk you through this in extreme detail right now. I want you to close your eyes if you are sitting safely and visualize this with me. Or, if you are ready, follow along. We start with the setup. This is where most people get it wrong. I want you to find a sturdy dining chair. Do not use a soft recliner or a sofa that you sink into. Those are too low and too soft for beginners. Take your sturdy chair and place it against a wall. I cannot stress this enough. If you have a fear of falling, knowing that the chair physically cannot slide backward gives your brain the safety signal it needs to let you move correctly. Now stand in front of the chair. Position your heels so they are about 6 inches away from the front legs of the chair. Your feet should be shoulder-width apart. Look down at your feet. Are they pointing straight ahead or slightly out? A slight outward turn is fine.
Here is the secret sauce. Most people, when they sit, just let gravity take over. They collapse into the chair. We are going to do the opposite. I want you to place your hands across your chest, like you are giving yourself a hug. If you do not feel safe doing that, keep your hands hovering just above the armrests or your thighs, ready to catch yourself. Now, engage your core. Pull your belly button slightly in toward your spine. Imagine you are trying to close a car door with your bottom. Push your hips back behind you. Do not bend your knees first. Hinge your hips back. As your hips go back, your chest will naturally come forward. This acts as a counterweight. Lower yourself down on a slow count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Control it. Fight gravity. When your bottom touches the seat, do not relax. This is the critical moment. Pause for 1 second, then drive your heels into the floor. Imagine you are trying to push the floor away from you. Stand up with power. Exhale as you rise. That is 1 repetition. Why is this simple up and down motion so transformative? It is because it targets the posterior chain, the glutes, the hamstrings, and the quadriceps. These are the largest muscles in the human body. For my viewers managing diabetes, this is incredibly important. When you engage these massive muscle groups, they require fuel. They pull glucose, sugar, directly out of your bloodstream to fuel the movement. It is like wringing out a sponge. A 10-minute walk gently lowers blood sugar, but 3 minutes of chair squats can drastically improve your insulin sensitivity because of the intensity of the muscle contraction. It is highly effective for thyroid patients as well, who often struggle with metabolism, as building this leg strength increases your resting metabolic rate. Now, I want to speak directly to those of you who have experienced a fall recently. I read a comment from a 90-year-old viewer who fell stepping out of the shower, suffered a head injury, and is now dealing with vertigo, breathlessness, and deep despair. I want to validate exactly what you are feeling. The trauma of a fall is not just physical, it's psychological. When you fall, your brain rewires itself to prioritize safety above all else. This manifests as stiff movements, looking down at the ground constantly, and a fear of leaving the house. The vertigo and exhaustion you feel are your body's way of saying, "Stop, I am trying to heal."
But here is the trap. If you stop moving completely for months, the despair you feel becomes physical weakness. Your recovery feels painfully slow because the muscles are atrophying while you rest. So how do you break this cycle without hurting yourself again? You start with what I call micro-progressions. If you are 90 or recovering from a fall or have bad knees, do not try to do 10 squats in a row. Do not even try to do 5. Your goal for tomorrow is just 3. And here is a modification specifically for you. If a normal chair feels too low and getting back up feels impossible, I want you to put a firm cushion or 2 thick books on the chair seat. Raise the level of the seat by 3 or 4 inches. This reduces the distance you have to travel. It makes it easier. Start from the top. Sit down slowly, count to 3, and if you need to use your hands to push off the armrests to get back up, do it. There is no shame in using your hands. You are still working your legs 80% of the way. Over the next 6 weeks, try to use your hands a little bit less. Maybe use just one hand. Maybe use just your fingertips. This is not a race. It is a rebuild. You might be asking, how often should I do this? If you are that active walker doing 4 kilometers a day, I want you to make a trade. I want you to walk 10 minutes less. Use that time and energy to do 3 sets of 10 chair squats. Do 10 before breakfast, 10 before lunch, and 10 before dinner. If you are recovering and feel weak, do 1 set of 3 repetitions in the morning. See how you feel. If you are dizzy, sit down and wait, but do it again the next day. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Over time, something magical happens. It is not just that your legs get bigger, it's that the neural connection, the wire between your brain and your legs, gets thicker and faster. One day you will trip on a rug, and before you even realize it, your leg will shoot out and catch you. You will stay upright. That is the moment this exercise pays for itself. You have the power to change your trajectory. It does not matter if you are 70, 80, or 90. Muscle tissue can regenerate and strengthen at any age. You just have to give it the right signal.
Walking is a great signal for the heart, but the chair squat is the signal for independence. I want you to try this, just one repetition, safely, with a chair against the wall. If this explanation helped clarify things for you, or if you are going to try your first squat tomorrow, please leave a comment below. Tell me your age and tell me you are starting. We are building a community here that refuses to let gravity win. Subscribe for more practical, safe guides, and I will see you in the next video.